So in the case of Senna, I mean, the interesting thing about it is I saw it off the back of seeing TT 3D, which I saw in 2D, Closer to the Edge. And what I really liked about that film was that it wasn't about the TT. Well, it was about the TT, but it wasn't about motorbike racing. It was about the characters involved in it. And it was about the question of whether or not somebody should be allowed to risk their life for something which is essentially, to some people, you know, trivial, ephemeral. Now, obviously, when you watch Senna, I mean, I assume that people know that the Senna story, you know, how it begins, how it ends. But what you actually get from it is this really engrossing documentary about, I mean, on the large part, you know, his relationship with Alan Prost, the rivalry that they had, the way in which what you have at the centre of that relationship is, on the one hand, somebody who just wants to win and win more and then win some more, and then on the other hand, somebody who's really quite mechanical, quite mathematical, quite sober about what it means to win, which is figure out the numbers, you know, work out the mathematics of it, and don't take, in inverted commas, unnecessary risks. And I was very, very surprised that watching the movie. Have you seen it yet? Have you seen Senna yet?
Yes. You remember we interviewed the
director.
No,
I'm sorry, I beg your pardon. Fine, but did you? But obviously, you knew more about the subject than I did, because I went in knowing nothing. And when I say knowing nothing, I mean I didn't know
really knew nothing.
I really knew nothing.
No, it's terrific. Everyone who's seen it, who knows a lot about Formula One, says it's great. People who go and see it who don't know much about
anything,
Formula
which
One,
is me,
think it's terrific. Particularly the final kind of doom-laden final 20-25 minutes, which is full of that disastrous weekend, which is not just Ayrton's death, of course, but there's a terrible crash before that, and then there's a fatality before that. So it's all, and they play. It's just beautifully, if you can say such a thing as about Terrible Weekend, it's just beautifully done.
And let me ask you this: how do you think the film addressed that central idea of essentially what you're doing is potentially lethal and there are terrible consequences involved in it? Because I thought that was one of the things that the film addressed very, very gently but very intelligently. The idea that actually this is a really, really... I thought in the same way that TT3 did it took it head on, but it didn't feel confrontational or awkward or tied up about it.
No, I didn't take any of that at all.
Fine.
I just thought it was telling the story of an obsessed, extraordinarily talented man, and I loved the style of the movie, the way that you didn't see any of the interviewees; it was just all done in voiceover. Well, the experts are,
I'm sure,
and then Ayrton tells his story.
Well, from the point of view of it being a piece of filmmaking, I mean, I thought it was great. From the point of view of it being a human interest story, I thought it was great. I mean, I did think in the same way as Close to the Edge. I mean, that would be a great double bill. Watch those two together, because they are documentaries that are about something